Joining us from Singapore is Dorab Mistry, Director of Godrej International, India's a leading producer of oils. Right, tell us indeed, Dorab, what is going on here, and is it really all down to excessive rainfall, and you know, how do you trade palm oil as well for people who don't know how?
Hi, Rishaad. It's not just excessive rainfall. The palm oil, as you know, is a tree crop. The trees produced at amazing velocity in the last 1 year, or last 8 months to be precise. And like every other living organism, the trees are a bit tired, they need a rest. And so we are moving from what I call the biological high cycle into now what would be called the flat phase of production. So we are going to have a little problem on production of palm oil. Demand, on the other hand, is buoyant. Demand for biofuels is even more buoyant, as you can see from the price of crude oil. And as a result, I think there's only one way to go, and that's higher in price.
Right, well, that brings me on to the next question. How do you, A, trade it, B, at the moment, how high will it go in your book?
Well, I correctly forecast that when the trees were producing at high velocity, the prices would go down in terms of Malaysian ringgits to 2,800. But that was the bottom, and we went just a little below that target to 2,762. And after that, we are predicting now that the market has bottomed out, and it will keep going higher until we get to a price situation which begins to ration demand. And I believe that will happen when the price reaches 4,000 ringgits, 4,000 Malaysian ringgits by about June of next year. Now, I must say the market has bounced almost exactly as we had predicted. The production seems to have turned the corner. The growth is decelerating. And for consumers and users of palm oil, I think they have now got to put their buying shoes on and cover, unless they want to pay higher prices a few months down the road.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? And, you know, how much of, because it is so widely used and it is a component of many foods, could this really add to the inflationary pressures that are in the pipeline?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Palm oil on its own will add a little bit to inflation. Not a great deal, because the price used to be around 3,800, 3,900 ringgits about a year ago. And then it came down, and now it's likely to go back to 4,000 ringgits in the next 6 months. On the other hand, I think inflation is more a function of local currencies. And if, like in India, you have a weak rupee, then I think that is really the culprit for inflation, not just the price of commodities.
Right, well, you know, we talked about palm oil. Let's talk about some of the others in this oil complex, as it were, well, and you know, away from crude oil here as well. What are you looking at? What's your favorite play?
Well, I think palm oil is the best play at the moment for investors, and also for investors of equities, because I think palm oil plantation companies are very good value, particularly the ones listed in Singapore. There's also likely to be higher upside coming up in things like oil seeds, like soybeans, particularly soybean oil, which competes with palm oil. But the best upside is really in palm oil, because we went down quite sharply, and now, as anything goes down, needs to recover and go higher. Plus, palm oil dominates the vegetable oil space. 70% of world vegetable oil trade is palm oil. Most other oil seeds give you a huge byproduct, oil meal, which really is in surplus and not a good trading idea at the moment. It's vegetable oil which is carrying the can of higher contribution, and that is why palm oil, which is a pure vegetable oil play, seems to be the best investment.
Dorab, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Dorab Mistry there from Godrej International, just talking about the prospects for palm oil there.